everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex, and this is Big Baby Reviews. Check out my comics, Big Baby and Star Crasher at KingComics.CA. Check out my YouTube channel, my videos, King Comics 2021. Check out my Instagram, Maximus Rex 13, and check me out on Facebook, either Max Rex or Big Baby. Today is Jack Kirby Monday. I am joined by Nick.
That guy, Nick.
And we are looking at the next issue in the early Marvel Universe run of the Fantastic Four. This is issue number 4. And this one is well known because of this figure here on the cover. Marvel bringing back Namor from, I guess, World War II era. I think they were called Atlas Comics at that point. Timely Comics back around World War II. They changed names a lot until they kind of got really popular with Marvel. Pretty cool looking cover, I think. Pretty iconic, right?
I mean, they weren't even called Marvel yet, right? There's no Marvel Comics. There's no nothing. I mean, you have the little MC here, but nothing.
Yeah,
else,
what is that even at that point? Like, no one's gonna, reading these comics, gonna look at that and go, "Hey, that's Marvel Comics," right? Who knows? Maybe they were kind of floating the idea at that point, but you're absolutely right.
Because they weren't called Marvel Comics yet. I think their publishing name on paper was Atlas.
So they're still Atlas at this point, right?
I think
because
so.
they're growing out of the monster comics. Obviously, the Thing kind of a good example of that.
Don't quote us.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and that's one thing I was mentioning to Nick before we started shooting is, we're going to see, especially I think over these next 4 issues, 4, 5, 6, and 7, these next few weeks of reviews is we're going to see the shift. We've already seen the shift to kind of the superhero angle with the costumes last issue, and now we're going to see that kind of push forward. We're going to see Jack Kirby trying a little bit crazier stuff, kind of like, the 50s moving into the 60s. The sci-fi stuff's going to kind of, start taking more place within the story. So yeah, kind of quick changes we're going to see in the artwork as well, which I'll try to point out as we go through the book. Anything else about the cover we should say? Any other comments? That's about it.
That's about it. I think
all right, man.
Namor's first introduction in the Silver Age.
Absolutely. So, and as we know, the cover really indicates it. He's kind of trying to kidnap Sue Storm. Kind of odd. Maybe it's a cultural thing from 50, 60 years ago.
Isn't this the beginning of the trope where he's in love with her? Or she has a thing for him?
I would assume this is where it starts, right? We're going to find out. Let's open her up. All right, so right off the bat, this artwork still to me really harkens back more to the 50s still. Just the general look of it, the sheen and the look of the costumes and stuff is still to me very, very almost like, I feel like Fantastic Four maybe is a little bit of inspiration from Lost in Space, that family that's literally lost in space, right? It's the name of the show. The family vibe, I guess, is where it's coming from.
Oh, I think it's a lot of... He took this from Challengers of the Unknown that he was doing.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, there's... And I mean, there's some of that. There's, did he get the family dynamic from something else? I mean, I don't know if it's at that point, there's the Marvel family, so it's not necessarily a super new concept, but Thing, still looking like a lumpy piece of crap. Kind of interesting, more scary than he'll become. He does, in a weird way, become, maybe, I don't want to say more cuddly looking, but at least more sympathetic, I guess is how I describe it.
Blue-eyed.
That helps too, right? And he's got like an angry looking furrowed brow, right? Generally he looks kind of sour and dire, and eventually like his face starts getting maybe more cartoony, just less menacing, I guess. So yeah, a little bit of recap from last issue. Nothing of note here. Like I said, I still feel this is, moving out of the Atlas monster stuff and slowly into the superhero stuff. This villain from last issue, I don't think we're ever going to see again. I don't even remember his name, to be honest.
Hey, look who's coming.
Yeah, this will happen at the bottom of the pages. I guess it's. I don't know if the Hulk was being published at this point. More than likely, it seems likely. But like, we're not going to see him in the next 4 issues, so they're really early on kind of telling you about it. It's kind of odd. It's all throughout the comic. We'll see it again. You got the Fantastic Car again. Looks like a bath, right? now it looks like a sauna, right? That you can like.
It's a hot tub.
It's a hot tub. Right? It's not a sauna. Yes, a hot tub. And now they all have their individual hot tub. That's pretty fun. Something I noticed too is the kooky ways, like Mr. Fantastic and the stretching stuff. Pay attention, because like it's not so bad here, but like there's just something really goofy about it. I can accept maybe the Thing, all the other ones, but Mr. Fantastic I find really goofy, his powers. it's like eventually I feel like the intelligence that he has becomes more the superpower. Like someone, I remember a storyline or someone writer talking about how basically his brain is elastic, so he can grow that as well, and that's why he's smart and stuff. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting.
That's cool. I never heard that one.
Yeah. Like it's almost more important to stretch his brain than anything else. Like that's almost more important, a more important part of the superpower than stretching out his limbs or his genitalia. Yeah, this is, I just want to mention how funny I think that like these like motorcycle ruffians, it feels like this looks a lot like Marlon Brando is in this kind of movie where he's like a Hell's Angel or something. Yes. That right there to me seems like Jack Kirby will take stuff from pop culture, right? So I definitely feel like that's where that's from, this whole thing here. It was probably like a popular movie back in the day. Like again, the fashion and stuff, it's still very 50s and like, hey, it's like Leave It to Beaver stuff. The aesthetic, right, is still like,
yeah, very 50s.
Yeah. The car, like the cars from the 20s, 30s, I guess that one. Still pretty exciting though. The art's great. Like, it's got a vintage feel, but it's definitely Jack Kirby. Some of the effects and stuff that he's slowly going to be perfecting. His car's spot on. Doesn't seem like invented like later on when he invents like crazy looking vehicles and stuff.
It's a ripoff of Action Comics.
Well, I mean, it's pretty
almost there.
I mean, you're pretty much you're the guy running away. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah. As soon as I kind of saw this, now that you say it, that makes a lot of sense. Why not? Okay, I thought I missed something there. Okay, so is this the first time the thing reverts back to human form? Like already in issue 4? I'm going to say also that's amazing about this issue when I was looking at it before, I'm going to point it out now. There's What is the Hulk again, right?
What is the Hulk?
Oh, so now what is the Hulk? Okay, I see what they're doing. They're building it up.
I've never seen anyone like the Hulk.
Oh, geez, it's all over the place. But what was I talking about here? We're talking about the transformation.
The thing back into human form.
Back into human form. Okay. So, this issue, when I finished it, I had to go back and count how many pages it was, because going through it compared to a modern comic, it felt like it was like a 48-page special or something. And I went back, and it's not quite the 20 or 22 page standard. It's 25 pages. But I was just amazed at how much story and how many things were going on, how many different scenes and locales and stuff. Like, it's pretty insane how much, we're going from the Fantastic Four, where Johnny works at the garage, to like downtown, I guess. It's insane. Yeah. Such a varied kind of settings and storytelling. It's crazy. Most modern comics, I mean, you get through it in like 3-4 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this you could probably read out, probably fully reading all this stuff, and it is interesting to read. It's not too much dialogue. I would say like a good 15-20 minutes.
Easily.
Yeah. And so we got our scruffy dude here, not Wolverine.
Side shot.
It's a little early.
That side shot.
Mr. Scruffy Beard. Some interesting and weird color choices in these old comics. Again, I don't know how accurate these are to the originals, but I definitely feel like they're kind of channeling that vibe, at least, of just kind of flat colors and yellow. We talked before, the red backgrounds. Like,
have a copy of original Fantastic Four number 4. It's pricey. I
would imagine so, eh? Yeah.
It's not a cheap book, which is why we're looking at it in a Masterworks.
That's right. None of us can afford that. The sequence with Namor, this is before the Manson family murders, but doesn't he kind of look like Charles Manson right there? A little bit, So this is a pretty famous sequence I've seen before, right? Where like the Submariner, like, I'm not quite sure. Why does he decide to just, randomly shave this guy that he doesn't know is Namor already?
Shaving him with fire?
Yeah, and like this guy's just, all right, sure, let's try it out. Like, just burn my face. It's kind of weird. He's still got a bit of stubble left. Great. Yeah, so we're like, man, so much stuff has happened. We're just on chapter 3 here. So this is one of those shots I was kind of talking about that I find, we're starting to get, especially in the buildings here, like that Kirby magic is starting to appear. They're buildings, but they're starting to look more kind of sci-fi-ish, for lack of a better description.
Mm-hmm.
The vantage point is, pretty wide perspective. And again, a goofy kind of Mr. Fantastic. You'll notice over the run, he uses his powers less and less. He will use that elastic brain more and more in, issues probably 40s and 50s and after that. So here was also a section where I found we're starting to get, again, some of that Kirby magic that we like from maybe a little bit later on. We're seeing like little glimpses of it in the designs and stuff, and like starting to force that perspective a lot more. Mm-hmm. Not quite as extreme as he would get, but you'll see some more examples too with Mr. Fantastic, who's sometimes I wonder maybe the inspiration for those extreme foreshortenings.
I also noticed too.
Go ahead.
Signed Stan Lee and Jack Kirby?
Yeah, well,
but this is not even a cover or indicia page. This is a chapter page.
Yeah,
in the middle of a comic.
I guess it's some kind of creative indication that he wrote on the page or something. I have no idea. Let's put that back up. There we go.
I wonder if the actual real page had those signatures on it.
I have no idea. It seems like added on. That's what I feel like. It's kind of like to give credibility to the fact that Stan Lee also worked on it. I don't know. So yeah, here's again an interesting kind of mid part between like the monster comics and the superhero comics. And we got this giant whale monster that's got like legs. Pretty weird.
It's amphibian.
Yeah. And these are concepts that Kirby's used before, and he's going to use more in the future as well.
But who is the Hulk?
We'll find out.
That's what we want to know.
In a few weeks. What issue is the Hulk in? That cover where they're in that cavern. The Hulk and the Thing back to back.
Tales of Suspense. Oh, that's is it Tales of Suspense? No.
So it's not in the Fantastic Four comic. You've never seen anyone like the Hulk, all right?
At this point, fuck Namor and Fantastic Four. I want to know the Hulk.
Exactly. So
this is a whale.
It's a giant whale,
like a sperm whale head or something.
Yeah, it's a whale that walks, basically, is I think how it's been described at some point, maybe even in this comic. But yeah, comes out of the ocean, but it has limbs.
Holy shit.
That's a cool shot there.
It's supposed to be, it's an eye, right? The whale eye?
Listen, I think it's some sort of alien or underground or underwater kind of. I think is he underwater? I don't know for sure. Return to the deep. That would make sense, but I guess they're going to find Namor's hideout. I don't know. I didn't read this one. I just look at the art, right? I like when they just color it like these bold kind of reds. So a lot of that in here. But yeah, this one again still looks a little old-fashioned to me.
Isn't when they're colored red, it's because they're angry or supposed
to That's be, it. It's the whole, what is it, subjective color? The subject being anger, I guess, in this one, violence, right? And that brings us to the end of the issue. So still pretty much, like I said, in the Monster Comics vein, but we're starting to introduce, Submariner, more superhero aspects. The art is still a little bit subdued, as I guess is how I describe it, but it's going to get more and more Jack Kirby extreme as it goes along. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, the Hulk is coming.
You've never seen anyone like the Hulk.
Right there. He's coming. He's coming hard.
Oh, the Hulk is coming. Okay. Well,
hard.
I would imagine so. He's pretty strong, so get out of the way when that happens. This shot's kind of goofy. It's one of those pinups they do a lot of back in the day.
They don't do that anymore.
No, but I feel also like, again, this is one of those examples I was saying of where like Mr. Fantastic just looks kind of goofy. And also it almost feels like, man, isn't it nice that to not have to draw someone in foreshortened perspective? It's just really easy to draw these like, merging lines. It's almost like his design is made to be drawn quickly and easier. It's kind of how I feel about it.
Give a guy stretchy powers and you can draw him wonky. Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, you don't have to be accurate, basically, exactly. Right? Yeah.
I mean, look, it's all straight lines, right? Straight.
Yeah. Straight. It's like a vanishing point, but it's like, again, you don't have to work out the shapes. So you just, two parallel lines moving down. You got it. Kind of a weird looking face here.
Jimmy Cagney.
Maybe, I guess. All right, and that's where we're going to leave you today with this Fantastic Four pinup page featuring Mr. Fantastic. So that ends our review of Fantastic Four number 4, the first appearance of the Submariner. He will become a little more important in the next kind of following issues, as you'll see in the next week's reviews. So thank you everyone for watching. Really appreciate it. If you're subscribed already, thank you so much. If you are not, please subscribe below. It doesn't take a lot of time. It really helps out the channel, helps get us out there to other people who are interested in comic books like we are. Thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.
Like, subscribe, like, subscribe.
King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at KINGCOMICS.CA, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.